Hey there, YouTube. It's Jobber here. Going to be doing a deck profile on Dylan's Dirty World Dark World deck he's been rocking, and we call it Dirty World. You're going to see in a second. Don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel, and check me out on Facebook. I got links below.
Alright, so this is not my original idea, I just want to say that. But so we don't got any hate. I'm not going to name drop either, but yeah, 3 Grappa, we got 3 Brow, 3 Snow, and then that's basically the Dark World monster part of it. And then you run 3 Protector. I know my Protectors don't match. I don't care.
I know, I told him I can match him for him, but he doesn't care.
Yeah, you gotta have the one rare one, so that you know that you draw that one. He's like, oh, this one's special.
All right.
And then, yeah, these don't even match either. They all are different.
Yep, I know.
So they got character, and their character is, as long as this is a face up on the field, your opponent can't draw cards except in their draw phase. So I'll explain. I'm just gonna put those down there. I'll explain that, and then I play 1 Morphing Jar just to draw cards. You know, this is a very draw oriented deck. You play the Allure. I'll go into the 1 Duality in a second. Then the 1 Day Apiece, the Duality, and then only 2 Drag Downs. And this is the same thing, like the same principle I like to do with my Transmodifies, the 2 Duality and the 1 Transmodify. It's just like the same thing I have with cards. This is really good, but it's not good enough to the point where I'd run 3. And then this is really good, but it's not to the point where I'd run 2. It's just like to help that one other card to help look through 3 cards of your deck to add the combo pieces to your hand, because this is you need a combo piece. You need to get 2 cards in your hand.
And we'll explain the whole thing in a moment.
So Drag Downs, you really don't want them in your hand as much as possible with a normal Dark World deck, because they're going to take your combo pieces out. I mean, you can force them to take your combo pieces out, but it's just not as good as in pure Dark World. And we got 3 Drag Downs, 3 Gates, you know, standard Dark World stuff, 3 Upstarts, and then this is your unstandard Dark World stuff. We got 3 Into the Voids. You have 3 more cards in your hand, or 3 cards in your hand. You can draw an extra one. It dumps your whole hand at the end, which isn't a problem because you're just looking for 2 cards that you're going to set.
And they get the Dark World effects in the end phase anyway, so if you do have Dark World, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so
it's like a bad card destruction.
Yeah, so it's actually a pretty good card just to run, because I'll show my side's over there, right? I'll show what the side is. And then 3 hand destruction is just more deck circulation. You need to get that guy in the graveyard, so just more circulation. He is a fiend, so you can pitch him with Gates and remove him for Gates, but he's not, you know. Most people don't think he's a fiend because he's Earth.
Yeah.
And then we run the 3 Call the Honins, and I'll go into that. And then this is your combo, basically. These are all your combo pieces right here. And then the 1 Ceasefire. Ceasefire is if you ever have to set this guy and you have the Disturbance strategy, then you can Ceasefire him face up. And then
so you have to explain the timing issue, why you can't just
So the timing issue is I straight up... There's a ruling on this guy about a mile long that says I can't just like summon him and then just be like, oh, hand destruction, that sucks for you, discard 2 cards, now you get to draw, you know? So
you don't get to draw, you can't do that.
You can't force your opponent to draw when this is on the field. So there's ways around it, because this is Yu-Gi-Oh! So there's a ruling a mile long. He can't be face up on the field when I'm forcing my opponent to draw, but I can do this if he's in the graveyard, and I have these 2 set. I believe it's, you do Disturbance strategy, and then you chain Call the Haunted, and then the chain link would resolve backwards. Call the Haunted would go, summon him face up to the field. Disturbance strategy would go.
They shuffle their
hand into their deck,
and then they have to draw the same number of cards.
Then his effect triggers off. You know, I believe it's in the same chain, which is why it works, because they're going to shuffle in, and then his effect's going to trigger and not let them draw.
Right, and that trap card says they shuffle their whole hand to their deck and they draw the same number of cards. But with that guy, they can't draw.
So you just wait till
lose their whole hand.
Their standby phase, and then you just shuffle their whole hand in there. And then basically this deck is all draw, so you just need to get this into the graveyard. You need to get one of these and one of these, or you can have this in your hand. You get these 3 combo pieces
because you can set it, and then you set it, and then you
do the same thing. You the Call the Haunted, you do the Ceasefire, and then just flip it up and burn them. Burn them. They can't add. So yeah, it's basically this deck has to go first turn to win, and then hope. Usually you can win if they don't set anything, like they summon a monster, set a monster, say go. But
sometimes they just dump their whole hand.
Yeah,
and then this deck is pointless.
That's why this deck's not like winning anything. Because if you play against like Bujins or Fire Fist, and they just like
set their whole hand,
then you just straight up lose.
But if Chaos Dragon starts getting played, this would be a lot better. And he has a side deck for you guys.
Yeah, and then the side deck you get real mean, because you can't be. I mean, first game is you win because this deck has like, I think it's like a 90% ratio if you're going to draw those 3 cards because of just the sheer amount of draw power in this deck. It's really, really easy to
And the
draw.
deck's a lot of fun to play, too.
It's
That's
fun.
the biggest thing.
It's just you get to draw your whole deck. You side into Yugioh, you know? No. So you side into... this deck sides into pure Dark Worlds, and they're not going to know what you're playing, first of all, because they're going to be like, oh, I see a bunch of Dark World stuff, and then he's not, like, really, like, doing the standard Dark World plays. Oh, and also the reason why you win is once you do that, I mean, it's definitely not a game just because he's on the field. They're completely top-decked. They're going to have no cards in their hand. They're going to have to pass turn, and then you just start dropping Graphas.
Yeah.
And you just start dropping them every turn, and then they can't one card out a Grapha when you've already developed so much power.
Right.
So then you just side into... I just side into, like, a pure... more pure Dark World deck. So I side into the 3 Silvas, and then you got the 3 MSTs because they're probably going to side macros and defis or stuff that hurts you. And then I just do the 2 Mind Crushes just because they're really, really good to side this meta. Lots of decks get hurt by them. Bujins, Fire Fists, pretty much everything. You can Mind Crush. It's Mermails, you know, Megalo, Mind Crush Megalo, you know. It's good stuff. The 3 Skill Drains, which shuts down every single deck. And the only reason I play 3 is because you like want to open with this card in this meta just to absolutely just destroy somebody. And then I just play 1 of these are my 1-ofs.
Because he has so much draw power, he's explained to me he'll draw into them.
Yeah, I'll just draw into them. The only reason I play the 3 Skill Drain is because this card is going to get MST'd like 100%, so you have to have backups.
Right.
These cards, doesn't really matter if they MST because they serve their purpose. Royal Decree is going to serve its purpose by negating a trap. You know, that may be they might chain, you know, MST to it or something. But still, it negated a trap, baited out an MST. Rivalry and Gozen Match serve their purpose as, you know, board wiping, pretty much. If you stopping huge plays from going off, and you know, depending on what deck side, you know, whatever. And then the viruses, which you know, virus.
Yeah, super broken.
Virus combos with the Mind Crushes too.
Well, if you guys have any questions, YouTube, post a comment below, and then Dylan can respond to your question about whatever timing or whatnot. You can always look up the guy on Google. There's like a list of rulings on it, like a mile long, like he said.
Yeah,
so,
and then also. There's another one, another weird ruling on it. It has something to do with Morphing Jar, but I'm not gonna like go into that. If like Morphing Jar flips and he's on the field, then that's the only time that your opponent will not add the cards to their hand. For some reason, Morphing Jar has some like weird timing about it that doesn't let like Morphing Jar will still activate, and your opponent will just be like, "Oh,
yeah, that's funny."
I lose."
All right,
So-
YouTube. Well, don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel, and like I said, post a comment below if you have any questions. Check me out on Facebook. I have links below. Add me as a friend and like my Jobber page. And we are signing off.